How did that character come to you?
You know what? I worked on a bunch of characters. I was doing stuff for
Iris?
Iris. Yes, Iris. Hello, Bob. There's a guy called Don Silverman in West Palm Beach, Florida on WPBR. No, WJNO. Hello, everybody. This is Don Silverman, WJNO, 1230, West Palm Beach, Florida. Let's go to the phones. And I met him. He used to come to the Comedy Corner. And I fooled him for like 2 months. And he goes, let's go to the phone. Let's go to Iris in Boca. Hello, Don. Because I don't know if you've ever heard little old ladies from Boca. I used to do a bit about it. Everybody from Boca that's 70 and up all sound the same. Yes, my name's, this is Iris, and this is my husband, Hyman. Say hello, Hyman. Hello, my name's Hyman. You know, this is my sister, Rose. Rose, say hello to everyone. Hi, hello, my name is, we're so happy to be a part of the whole thing, you know. It's just, so, yes, we have the potato salad here for everybody. Hyman, you know, and they all sound, it's just like that, everybody sounds the same. So I remember I used to call Don Silverman. Hello, Don. Wonderful program, wonderful program. Well, thank you, Iris. What's on your mind? I didn't really have as much of a question, just other than to say that we just love you. We listen to you all the time in Boca, and your just insights really mean a lot to us down here. And I laughed yesterday. You did a thing with that man from Jupiter, and we laughed and laughed. And believe me, we're not laughers. We're not laughers. And he was just like, well, thank you, Iris. All right, Don, we'll be listening to your next segment. I'm very excited about the cooking segment. You know, and I literally had him going. I would call every week. Hello, Don, this is Iris. We go to Iris again, our old friend Iris. You know, and I think he thought it was real. And he loved it, you know, because here's this lady down there, chain smoking, listening, you know. And then finally one day I called up and I go, hello, Don, I want to comment on the senator. Right? It made me laugh. And I went, hello, Don, I want to comment on the senator. And I kind of went like this. He goes, is this Dan Whitney? And I went, what do you mean, Dan Whitney? I don't even know who he is. I want to talk about the senator. You know, then he got me, right? Then I started laughing. I said, all right, Don, you got me, but I had you for about 4 months. And I hung up. Oh my gosh, so funny. And it was more popular. When I started doing that on the radio in Tampa Bay, that was more popular. That was the first one. That was more popular than Larry the Cable Guy. Larry the Cable Guy came after Iris. There was Rose and Iris. Rose and Iris are the same kind of deal. 1 minute Rose would call, 1 minute Iris would call. It just depended on who I wanted to be. But they both sounded the same. And so I couldn't keep it up. It would hurt my voice, you know, and sometimes I'd do 3-minute long segments and I couldn't do it anymore. And besides that, I didn't want to travel the country as an old lady. I couldn't do it on stage. So yeah, that was the first character I did. Larry the Cable Guy came about. I went on stage at the Comedy Corner in West Palm Beach. And it was one of those nights where I was just trying stuff out. This would work, that was horrible, this would work, that joke sucked, but that joke was funny. And then one day I just said, hey, this guy ever come over to your house? And I kind of hiked my britches up. And, you know, I said, hey, did you order cable? And did a little snicker. Well, somebody's ordered something. We got an old truck full of spool here. You know? And I did this cable installer guy. And I just kept adding to the story. I kept adding to these guys at the door, asking the lady questions, and it turned into a 5-minute deal. Great laughs. So my buddy called me up and he said, dude, that cable guy, you got to call our radio station and do the cable guy too. And so that's when I started doing Rose and Larry the Cable Guy. And like I said, Rose was Rose and Iris, and Larry the Cable Guy. And Iris was actually more popular to start off with, and then Larry the Cable Guy turned on the jets.